Welcome students, in this class we will be learning about the different comparison operators that are available. The first comparison operator which we would be starting off would be the double equal to, followed by the triple equal to, and after that we will also learn about greater than and lesser than, and to follow that up we would also understand the difference between greater than equal to and lesser than equal to, and finally we will wrap up with the understanding of ternary operators. So first let me just start off with the boilerplate. So we got the title. I'm going to say examples to understand comparison operators in JavaScript. This is exactly what we are going to be doing, and I need a CSS link. So link is equal to style sheet, type is equal to text slash CSS, and then href is equal to CSS slash style2. Okay, that's the style sheet which we will be using. Start off with the scripting. We need the script tag. Without that we wouldn't be able to implement the script. So this is the variable which we are using, and let me give one more variable. So variable y is equal to 91. Now I want to compare these two things. Now if you want to compare these two things, you can use control statements, but we have not studied about control statements as yet. So instead of using control statements, I would be using document.write. Now what am I writing here? I am just trying to find out if x is equal to y, and then I'm just going to save this and go to the browser and see the output. Now clearly you can see that there is true. That means there is a check that has been conducted and we are getting a Boolean output. So I already mentioned to you in the previous class, when you want to make a decision, there is something called as Boolean, and it has got two values, true or false. So either it can take a true value or it can take a false value. In this case is x equal to y. Yes, I'm using a double equal to, and it does check it and then it states it. Now if instead of giving double equal to, if you were to just give single equal to and save it and go back to the browser and print it, gives true 91, something like that. That is because I have not commented this. If I would have commented this and saved this and gone and executed this, I say I get 91. Why do I get 91? It's because the value of y has been assigned to x. Now just to show you that, if I were to give the 2191, get 2191. So what am I trying to show you here? If you use a single equal to instead of double equal to, you would get the values to be assigned. You wouldn't be able to make a decision. So that is the important point. Okay, so having mentioned that, let me just give you one more illustration. So I want to check if 0.000 say 52 is equal to, I'm placing one more zero. I'm just trying to see the efficiency of this check, double equal to. So if I refresh it, the outcome should be a false. That's exactly what we have got. So the check is efficient. Now if I remove this 10 and then if I go over here and refresh it, I get true. So that's perfectly fine. So that is for double equal to. So let me give a comment statement and state here, understanding the double equal to comparison. Now the next comparison comes is what? Is triple equal to. Triple equal to comparison operator. Now how does this work? Now let me just copy the same illustration and paste it here. Now instead of saying 0.00052 I'm going to state 0.0052 within quotes. Now they are both the same, but they are all of different data type. Whenever you give a value within quotes, it means it is a string. So that is imperative to understand here. Now if you want to compare these two things, I'm going to run it. So before I want to comment these things so you can understand that we are dealing only with these three lines. Save it and then I execute it. So now it is saying true, but is it really true? This is a string and this is numeric. Of course they are both the same value. So the exact match is there. The pattern is getting matched and the value is getting matched, but the data type is not getting matched. So to prove that, I will just show to you, I will just use document.write and you will know. So I am writing this, I'm getting it printed here, and let me save it and show it to you. So if I were to refresh this, I get the values here. Probably if I were to use HTML I would get a break, but I'm using only script, so that's the reason the values are printed as it is. So in this case they are one and the same values, but we do not know what is happening behind the scene. They aren't of the data type. So having mentioned that, if you want to compare the data types also, then we have to use what is called as triple equal to. Now if I were to save this and run it, see what I got? I got false. So the understanding here is, okay, if your comparison is just to be interested in the pattern, okay, I need to just check for the values. If they are all of the same value, nothing else more, then you can use double equal to. But if you want to check and make sure that even their data type is the same, then you will have to use the triple equal to. So that is the difference between using double equal to and using triple equal to. Having mentioned this, let me go and show you the not equal to part. Now I've already taught you how to comment. Now this is a single line comment. Now if you want to comment multiple lines in JavaScript, you will have to use a slash and an asterisk, and then you will have to end with an asterisk and a slash. So this is multiple line comment. So now in this I'm going to show you, we will learn about not equal to comparison. So how does that work? I'm going to take in the same variables x and y, and then I will paste it here. So let me take a value of 230, and then I'm taking another value 230. So the comparison here is document.write. When I state this, I'm going to show you the meaning. So when I do this, x exclamatory followed by an equal to sign, what exactly is happening when I do this? You post a question, is x not equal to y? Is that the answer? No, x is equal to y. Or when you post this, x not equal to y, so you are outrightly making a judgment here, x is not equal to y. So that's your understanding. X is not equal to y, is it true? No, x is equal to y. So whenever you use x exclamatory equal to y, you are making a statement, x is not equal to y, but x is equal to y. So that is the reason when you go and refresh it, it says false. So what does it mean? It means that you are telling something incorrect. That is the simplest thing that we need to know here. Now suppose if I were to give you a 1230 and then save it and come to this particular line, document.write, x is not equal to y. Of course x is not equal to y. You are true indeed in this case. So let me go back here and refresh it. So that's the reason you're getting true. So those three operators we have learned, and it would come in handy in many instances. Thank you. Now in the previous illustration I have made example in this fashion. I've taken x is equal to 1230 and y is equal to 230. And then I have asked, or in other words, I have just printed that x is not equal to y. And clearly it is visible that x is not equal to y, and that is the reason if we were to refresh the page, we are getting a boolean output as true. X is indeed not equal to y. Now, if I were to give another example, so just to make things certain, x is equal to 1230 and y is equal to 1230, I'm giving a statement here that x is not equal to y, and this isn't true, right? So if you go back to the browser and refresh it, you're getting false. So fair enough. Now there is another comparison operator which is actually starts with an exclamation and follows up with two equal to signs. Now let me just demonstrate this. If I were to embed 1230 within a double quote, so in this case I am stating here x is not equal to y, so the outcome is going to be false, because x is equal to y according to the compiler. So let me just go and show it to you. You see that it says false. The reason it says false is the matching is actually done with the value or for the value. The matching is not done for the data type. So that is very important for us to understand. Now, if in case, if I were to add another equal to, so in this case, the matching is not only done for the value, but it is also done for the data type. The first value x, this is a string data type. The second value y is a numeric data type. So obviously x is not equal to y, so we should get a true value. So if I were to save it and go back and refresh it, you see that we got the true. So the understanding point is there is a lot of difference between stating x is not equal to y with a single equal to and stating x is not equal to y with double equal to. So have that in mind. So whenever we use a comparison operator of this fashion, exclamation followed by two equal to, we are actually comparing not only the values, but we are also matching their data types. If they aren't of the same data type, then the obvious result is going to be false. So that is imperative to understand. Now, having mentioned this, let me just introduce to you other comparison operators. Say, for example, you got 0.004 and you got something like this, 0.00441. So my question is, which is greater? X is greater or Y is greater? So for that, we can make a check. Now, it's not an easy question. You might be thinking, wow, it's an easy question. It's not an easy question because of the decimals being involved. Because there's a lot of difference between 0.004 and 0.0041. So we need to use the power of JavaScript for this, specifically when the decimals increase. So if I were to save it, is x greater than y? It's false. I'm actually stating it. X is greater than y. It is actually false because x isn't greater than y here. So let me just go and show that to you. So you see that it's getting false there. Now what happens if I have more zeros, say 0.004, and the numbers are say 1, 2, 3 and something like that, 3, 2. Now these are all confusing numbers. These are all confusing numbers. They have got the same number of digits among them, and these are all really confusing. So in this case, JavaScript lets us to compare them. Is x is greater than y? I'm giving a statement here. X is greater than y. Is x really greater than y? I don't think so, because in this case there is a 0 and there is a 4 here. X is not greater than y, so it's a false statement. So let me just save it and go back here. You see that it is false. X is not greater than y. So we have made the statement that x is greater than y, and that's the reason we're getting false. Now, is x less than y? Yes, it is true. X is less than y. I know that. I can see it. So if I were to go and refresh it, it says true. You see that? X is indeed. So just to give a recap, is x equal to y, you can just compare these two things. There is just the comparison of values here, and if you go and refresh it, it will give false. So we have performed this beautiful illustration which explains us the different types of comparison operators available in JavaScript. So having seen all this, there is one more thing we need to learn about, which is called as greater than equal to. So let me just take away this illustration and give you 0 point. Of course, let me give a whole number, say 10 and 10. So now the decision is x greater than y? Can we apply this, x greater than y? No, we cannot, because x is 10 and y is 10. So we need to have something called as greater than or equal to. So whenever we are placing in a comparison operator, the best way to understand them is to pose this question to us, that every individual has to pose. Is x greater than y, or x lesser than y, or x greater than equal to y? So in this case, what can we say? Is x greater than equal to y, greater than or equal to y? Yes, that condition holds good, right? X is not greater than y, but it is equal to y. So the output was going to be a true. So let me just go and show that to you. So when I refresh it, you see that I'm getting true value. So that is important for us to know. Now let's go to one more illustration. Now suppose if I were to change this and then save this, and what do you think the output would be? Can you take a guess? Okay, let me refresh it. It is again true. The reason is, when we use this comparison lesser than equal to, the meaning is the comparison is done for either the number being lesser than the given number or equal to the given number. So that is the reason we are getting true. So we have studied quite a bit of comparison operators, and those operators are very important to validate and to make informed inferences of the given situation. Now the next that we would want to learn is what is called as the ternary operators. So for this, what I wish to do is I would like to comment this off by means of multiple comments, and then we can learn about the ternary operators. Now, how does the ternary operator or ternary comparison work? Now, there is a condition that is given, and based on this condition, if you have to follow it up with a question mark. Now, if the condition holds good, then we have a true. If not, we have a false. So this is the way it is executed. Now, of course, I would have to show you an illustration. So this is just a casual explanation. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. So let me just design an example to show you that. Now, imagine I've got like this. So where confirmed, this is a variable, confirm underscore status. Say password confirm status. Something like that. This is a variable I'm giving. So in this case, I want to give a condition. So what is the condition? If the password, so of course there are two checks that are going here. I'm not actually representing the check. In other words, I'm just using a numerical comparison here. But we can always use an expression that would evaluate the values received from the user to the values stored in the database. That's always possible. Or to the values that has to be checked for. So in this case, I'm going to say, is 10 equal to 10? This is a simple comparison. Of course, it is going to be true. But to make that work, you need to place a question mark. Now, after the question mark, if this is true, you can give your credentials are okay, something like that. Now, if it isn't, you can say, please check password. So what am I doing here? I'm actually declaring a variable and then I'm writing a condition. Now if this condition is true, then this would be displayed. If not, this would be displayed. Now to display it, you can either use document. Now just for a change, I'm going to use this alert box. Now alert allows you to display information on the top of the browser. So not on the page, but over the page. So that is the best way to explain alert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this variable which I've just used here, and then I'm going to pass it as an argument for the alert, and then I'm going to execute this. Now I've saved it and I'm refreshing it. You see that your credentials are okay, and then it gives you. So every time the person's credentials are okay, this is displayed. Now, if in case the credentials aren't okay, say for example, if I change, say 210 is the number entered by the user, and I'm checking it against this one, which is already there, and this is what the user should have given. Apparently, the user hasn't given. So in that case, this would be printed, or this would be given as an alert. So let me just save it and show it to you. So I'm refreshing it. You see that? Please check password. So now you know the power of ternary comparisons. So this is how they operate. You can very well give an expression for comparison or a control statement. That is always possible. But since we have not done control statement or conditional statement, we have to limit ourselves to the examples or to the concepts that we have been exposed to. So that is the end for this comparison, students. We'll move on.